So this is the 7th video in a series about how to start a food forest or pollinator garden installation business. Today, we are going to be talking about lead generation and marketing as you start and move through this process of starting a food forest business. So if you're installing gardens for people, you're going to be having a lot of one-time clients and eventually moving into maintenance plans and recurring clients. Ultimately, when you start the business, you would initially aren't going to be making much money. You want to just be charging less money so you can get as many clients as possible, so you can build a portfolio, get testimonials, lots of pictures and videos. So the way that you're going to do this is go to your friends and family. Go to the people you already know. Go to everyone you could think of who might know someone who's interested and start a spreadsheet, put all their names in there, and don't be afraid to bother them. Send them a quick little video or a text explaining what you're doing and offering the legitimate fact that you're able to do it for a much cheaper price right now. This is not a marketing scheme. I went and did this. I texted a bunch of people I knew, and I started the business like 4 months ago by just helping a bunch of people I know to have these gardens installed for a much cheaper price. You can even do it for an hourly rate plus the cost of materials just to make them really happy, to offer full transparency. So that's what I did, and because I did that, I was able to get a lot of video reviews with the person, a lot of really good testimonials, and a lot of pictures and videos right off the bat. That is going to lead into the next phase of marketing and lead generation. It's going to be a great foundation from which you can go and charge a higher price point. So how are you going to get these people? Like I said, just texting the people you know. Also, the neighborhood app, Facebook Marketplace, Craigslist, websites like this where it's like $5 or free or cheap to put up an ad. There are other ways to do it too, like bulletin boards. However, for some reason, those just don't seem to hit. I guess no one's reading the bulletin board. It's just not in my experience, and I've done like 5 or 10 of them. And I think I maybe got one lead who ended up not being interested from that. So go ahead and do it by all means, especially if there's like a co-op, a garden store. That's a great place to go put your bulletin board up, but the odds are people just aren't going to be reading it and aren't going to have the initiative. However, I would say one thing I would do differently with that is go and put on the bulletin board something about the fact that like new business, really cheap pricing, and maybe even advertise your hourly rate. So usually it would be this, but here's what I can do for you. So those are the ways you're going to get your first customers. That's how you're going to start it off. And obviously this applies to any kind of business model like this or not like this. So within the context of this series, though, we're talking about installing gardens for people. You can even start off by branching out and doing some, like someone already has a garden, you do a little bit of maintenance, you do a little bit of upgrading, whatever it is, but ultimately you do want to find your niche and narrow down into that niche as quickly as you can. And if you take a couple other jobs doing something a bit outside of it, that's fine. It's not going to hurt you, but you want to get these testimonials and these photos and videos of what you're going to be selling precisely. So if you're installing gardens, it should be gardens that you installed. So okay, we've got it. That's the first phase of lead generation and marketing. You could also go door to door. That's just a place that's just, there's an infinite market there. You just trade your time for a certain rate. Let's say every 4 hours you find a customer. Maybe it's every 10 hours, and it's just not like a good return on investment. But if you're just building this system and you need your initial leads, don't let this stop you. There is a way to find those people. So that's what I would say for the first phase of marketing and lead generation. It should be something that is low cost. You're trading your time to find these people. However, maybe you do have the money to invest. You can go ahead and do some paid advertising, although I would say at the first phase, the time for that is going to be about the same anyways. So the next phase of this, once you've built this initial customer base and have these review videos, all of that stuff, you're going to want to move into some kind of long form marketing system. And this is something where you're going to be trading a certain amount of money, ideally, although it could be time. You could continue to do door-to-door sales. So it's like, let's say the door-to-door sales works for this, and I haven't done that at all, but let's say that works for you, and you find a good, okay, it's 4 hours, and I can get this project where I make $1,000 or something. Whatever it is, if you find a good system, you can just keep doing that. But you might want to move into a system where instead of trading your time, you're trading money to get these customers. So let's say you're profiting $2,000 on average on a project, and you know it costs $300 per customer. So then you're actually profiting $1,700, and you can just go run that marketing system. Now, what am I talking about with this? So the way I'm going to be doing it for this business, and I haven't even started yet, this is actually just a snapshot kind of as we're following the process, because I've spent the last 4 to 5 months building all these systems. It's really fresh in my mind, all the different ways that you can get this started. So I have done all the other stuff I've talked about, but the next phase is some kind of thing where you're paying. Like what this could be is cold email marketing, running ads of any kind where you're going to find people in your area, local people. So there's many different ways to do this. You can sponsor events, but that's not really what we're going to get into the specifics of the video. A couple more things. In order to spread the word, you want to ultimately be doing as much as you can to put in low effort ways to attract customers. Now, up front, as you're building this, you're going to want to put a lot more time into marketing and stuff. And ideally, you can move that into either scaling the business as that expands and builds upon itself, or you can just keep it at the same size and cut back on your marketing costs. Now, business cards and just meeting people who are like-minded, going to places where you're going to find people who are interested in things like this, that's going to be helpful. And just over time that will build. If you find one customer that's in a certain like health conscious community, that can lead to finding another 10 people. As soon as they get their garden installed, they have all their friends over, and maybe you just got 10 new referrals. You can incentivize referrals by giving people discounts on maintenance, by even giving them back part of their initial cost of their garden if they can get you referrals. So there's ways to incentivize this and over time build a system. Up front, the marketing is going to be the biggest thing. As soon as you start, you're going to be like, okay, how do I find customers? It seems impossible. Don't let that stop you. If you keep working at it, this is going to snowball and snowball. So, like I said, business cards is a good way. Referrals, just tapping into these communities is a good way. What was the other way? I think there's going to be one more thing I was going to say for that. Oh yeah, putting up yard signs. Put up yard signs in the gardens. As you do this, it's going to be all over the place, and you're just going to get known for this. At the same time, what is one of the advantages to cold marketing? When you can do marketing properly, you can really hook someone's attention and sell them. And you can use your skills in marketing and sales to run effective cold marketing. So the reason I'm going to be doing cold email marketing for this is because I want to put a lot of effort up front into building a system that effectively gets me to the point where I say, okay, I know I can get a customer that's going to profit $2,000 for $300. As soon as I know I can do that, my marketing is handled, and I can just go spend the next season doing that over and over again. Then this whole part of the business is just handled. And over time, of course, it is going to snowball. I'll still keep working on my referrals, all those other systems. And like I said, then I can cut back on marketing costs, make more money, or I can scale up. Ultimately, what I want to do is, to me, I'm more of like an artist. This is something I want to be engaged in. I don't want to have this whole system where I'm hiring people out to do that. Although maybe I will do that too, but I want to continue to be engaged in the projects. I want to move into bigger projects. I want to go spend a month, let's say, building a garden for a nonprofit, for a school or something. So that's one way you could do this. You could just cut back on the marketing, and you could do different forms of marketing over time. And before I get into this, one more thing. Now we'll just get into it. So then long term, ultimately, I think with this, you want to think about branding. And the way I'm going to be doing that is with videos like this. Even though no one is probably watching this right now, over time, I'm going to keep pumping out these videos. As I'm doing these projects, I'm going to keep taking videos of this and building a brand around it. And what that's going to do is eventually connecting me to more higher quality clients, ideally. And by quality, I just mean like bigger projects, more ideal for what I want to be doing. So you've got to think short term, get your first initial clients. Medium term, building a system where you can get more clients. And long term, where do you really want to take this? Although you don't need to be worried about that right away. So yeah, I think that's going to be it for this video for marketing, lead generation. Let me know what you think down below. If anyone watched this point, you got to leave a comment because you're probably the only one, unless you're the second person. But thank you. Peace.